Hi class, Amanda Mays here for your Yin-Yasa class today. I'm so excited to be able to practice with all of you virtually and share in this space together. For our Yin-Yasa class today, we'll just need lots of pillows, so I've got about 4 here for my couch. This is my dog Phoebe, so if you see her pop in and out, that's who that is. And otherwise, let's get started right away today in a supported fish pose. So I really like one of these pillows. You'll turn around, face the back of your mat, and place that pillow at the very top of your mat. This is where your shoulders will rest as you lie back down on it. Once you lie down with your shoulders on your pillow, you can cross your legs. If that feels uncomfortable, option to extend your legs out long. Or you could even press the soles of your feet to touch, butterfly your knees nice and wide. Yogis customize this hour here, this practice, for you, so that it can meet you where you're at today. Our focus in our Yin-Yasa class today is to work on, or begin to acknowledge, the heart chakra. In Sanskrit, it's known as Anahata. And it's exactly where you think it might be in the physical body. It's our heart and our lungs. But more importantly, this is the center of our body subtly that connects us to those around us. When you think of the heart chakra, consider it less in a romantic love kind of way, but more in a, I find compassion for myself in order to find compassion for others kind of way. This will be our focus throughout class. Our mantra. Let's unite together in breath. Take a big inhale breath, fill all the way up. Open your mouth, exhale, release it out. Again, big breath in, feel your belly rise. Audible with your breath out. Last one together like that, biggest breath yet, breathe in. Release something that's heavy on your heart as you breathe and let it go. This time inhale, seal your lips. Exhale through your nose to turn on your Ujjayi breath. Our Ujjayi breath, this really controlled form of breath, is the one that we'll use only in the first half of our class, the Yang or Vinyasa part. We use this breath to link every movement to an inhale or an exhale. Take another Ujjayi breath in, fill up through your nose. Ujjayi breath, empty back out through your nose. Your next inhale, when you're ready, roll over to your right or left side for a supported fetal pose. Use one of your biceps as a pillow. Gather your knees into your chest. Use that other hand first to just place your pillow off to the side of your space. And pause for a moment. When you're ready, press yourself up to a tabletop pose. You're facing the front of your mat now, tabletop pose. Shift your wrists underneath your shoulders and your hips over your kneecaps. Gaze down. Watch as you spread all 10 of your fingertips wide. And then drive the crown of your head forward. Squeeze your belly. Feel nice length through your spine. Inhale for cow pose. Drop your belly down. Create a big arch in your low spine this time, and then draw your gaze nice and high. Exhale for cat pose. Round, tuck, and curl at your lower back. Tuck your chin into your chest. Press your belly button through all the way to your spine. Inhale, cow pose, belly down. Gaze nice and high towards the sky. Exhale, cat pose, round, tuck, curl. Last time, breathe in, cow pose. Exhale, find a cat. Inhale, find a neutral tabletop pose. And as you exhale, tuck your toes, send your hips nice and high. Yogis will meet in downward facing dog. In your down dog, pedal out your feet. Give yourself some love and compassion here in your physical body as you do what you need to today. Just be kind and feel good. You ready? Begin to find some stillness here in your first downward facing dog of our class together. Gaze behind you. Ensure there's some space between your feet. Bend your knees slightly. Lift your hips nice and high. This will press your chest back closer towards your thighs. Continue to press into the mat with all 10 of your fingertips. Roll the weight in slightly. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, ragdoll pose at the top of your mat. Step, crawl, or walk your feet up behind your wrists. Yogis, ensure there's lots of space between your feet, so hips width distance or wider. Bend your knees generously. And slowly relax your belly towards your thighs. Release your head and neck to hang nice and heavy here. Drive the weight towards the very tops of your feet to open up all through the back line of your body. And then make sure your Ujjayi breath is still active as you inhale through your nose. And exhale through your nose. You next inhale, draw your feet back towards hips with distance if they're not already there. As slow as you can, roll all the way to stand, stacking bone on bone. When you're at the top, close over your eyes, press your hands together at your heart for Samasthiti, standing at attention pose. Yogis, let's set the intention for our practice here today. I offer you my mantra, which is I reconnect to my own heart to open up the rest of the world. With that intention in mind, take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Inhale, seal your lips, seal in your intention. Ujjayi, exhale. And flutter your eyes open. Release your palms down by your sides. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana. Extend your fingertips up and overhead. You can gaze up or gaze out. Just pause and breathe here. Root down with all four corners of each of your feet. Place a gentle bend in your knees to activate your quads. Squeeze your belly to scoot your tailbone underneath you. Lift higher. Breathe in. Exhale, chair pose. Sit nice and low into an imaginary seat behind you, and then draw your hands together at your heart center today. Drive your tailbone down and lift your chest. You can do that by lifting your gaze. Breathe in. Sink slightly lower as you breathe out. Inhale, rise. This time float all the way through to a back bend. Keep your arms nice and straight by your ears, your hips over your kneecaps as you begin to trace your gaze along the ceiling. Find stability in your spine as you squeeze your belly. Feel your traps and delts fire on as you reach higher. Take a big breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Draw your hands to your heart. Hinge from your hips and reach towards the ground in front of you. Breathe in, halfway lift. Place your hands to your shin bones and gaze down. Drive the crown of your head forward once more. That will increase the space in your back, but also shift the weight towards the tops of your feet. Take a big breath in. Exhale, high plank pose. Meet me in top of a push-up position and hold there. Breathe in, shift all the way forward. Exhale, slowly lower down until your belly reaches the mat. Once you're down here, untuck your toes and keep your hands exactly where they are. Inhale for supported upward facing dog. Peel your chest off the mat and press through your hands to support your upper body. You might need to scoot your wrists back underneath your shoulders so that they're in line, and keep your legs on the mat behind you. Our first time here, you can gaze over your right shoulder for a nice stretch. Feel a low back bend here, but also a core stretch. As you come back through center, gaze over to the left. Back to center, breathe in. Exhale, down dog, tuck your toes, send your hips nice and high. Reset with one breath in and one breath out. Let's flow. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Feet stay hips width distance. Inhale, halfway lift. Place your hands to your shins. Exhale, forward fold to reset your spine. Inhale, mountain pose, Tadasana, grow nice and tall. As you exhale, sit low, chair pose with your hands at heart center. Inhale, rise. This time flow through to a back bend. Gaze up, arms stay straight. Exhale, forward, fold hands to your heart as you hinge from your hips. Breathe in, halfway lift, straighten your spine, gaze down. Exhale, high plank pose. Meet me in top of a push-up position. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down until your belly reaches the ground. Keep your hands where they are. Untuck your toes behind you so that the tops of your feet are down. Inhale, supported, upward facing dog. Lift your chest, press through your palms. Exhale, down dog. Now you can tuck your toes to send your hips behind you. Reset with one breath in and one breath out. Let's move on, yogis. Inhale, your right toes high towards the sky behind you. Open up your hips, shake some space into your knee and ankle. Just let it feel good all through your right side body. Inhale, re-extend your right toes back, up and behind you. Exhale, low lunge, swing or drag your right foot all the way through to the top of your space. If it doesn't make it, that's what I mean by drag. You can just place your hand to your ankle and drop to the top of your space. That looks great. Inhale, crescent lunge, Yin-Yasa. Simply rise up and reach up. If you feel unsteady or unstable here, yogis, shorten and or widen your stance. It will give you some more square footage at your base. Keep your back heel lifted off of the mat, a slight bend in this back knee. Place a deep 90-degree bend in your front knee, and then extend your palms up and overhead, nice and high. Take a big breath in. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms. Reach your arms along your sides and then back and behind you. Dive your chest forward and then gaze at your right big toe. Squeeze your belly to keep it elevated off of your front thigh. Press your shoulder blades to touch behind you as if you have a beach ball in between your hands. Take a big breath in. Stay for your breath out. Inhale, star pose, open up. Draw your heels in, toes out, arms reach up and overhead. So you should be facing the left side of your mat. And as you reach nice and high, let's just check in here with your low back. If you look at mine, sometimes my belly begins or tends to dip forward rather, and you can notice this is really drawing my low spine out of alignment. Or maybe I'll dip back, same thing, I've got some alignment issues in my spine. See if you can scoot your butt directly underneath you and then lift up and out so that you've got this tall, long spine. Looks beautiful. Take a breath in. Exhale, horse pose. Draw your hands together at your heart and then sit nice and low in your legs. See if you can maintain that long spine. Think about rooting down as you press your tailbone down, but also lifting up as you lift the crown of your head high. Equal parts effort and ease here. Feel your quads fire on. Are you still breathing? Inhale through your nose. Sit lower, exhale through your nose. Inhale back to star pose, reach nice and high. Exhale, warrior 2, Virabhadrasana 2, towards the top of your space. Pivot your back foot flat. Find a deep lunge in your front kneecap. These back toes, everyone look at them. See if you can drive them in slightly so that your back hip has the permission to be pointing in the same direction as your back foot to alleviate any tension that you might feel here in this back leg. Now look at your front leg. Ensure your kneecap is stacked directly over your ankle. Challenge yourself to find this stack. Extend your arms out nice and wide. Wrists straight over your ankles. Breathe in. Stay with it, yogis. Breathe out. Inhale, reverse warrior. Fly your right arm up and then gaze at it. Commit and maintain these warrior 2 legs here. Lift up from your belly as you gaze high. Take a big breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Frame your front foot with your hands and step your right toes back and behind you. Breathe in, shift forward just slightly on your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Send your hips up and back. Let's try it on the left. Inhale your left toes high towards the sky. Open up your left hip by stacking it on top of the right one. Shake some space into your knee and ankle. Breathe in, re-extend your left toes up. Exhale, low lunge swing or drag your left foot all the way through to the top of your space. Inhale, crescent lunge, Yin-Yasa. Rise up and reach up. Give yourself some time, some grace, some compassion here to find this pose in your body. So maybe shorten and widen your feet. Keep your back heel off the mat. And then bend into both knees so that you feel really strong here. Squeeze your belly and then lift up through your palms. Take a big breath in. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms. Tilt your chest forward first. Reach your arms along your sides and then back and behind you. Gaze down at your left big toe. And then see if you can press your shoulder blades together behind you. Turn your traps and delts on once more. Big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale, star pose. Open up towards the right side. Draw your heels in, toes out, arms reach nice and high towards the sky. As you exhale, horse pose, we'll sit low one more time here. And actually open up through our chest. So place your palms above your kneecaps. Yogi, sit your hips low and then dive one shoulder in. See if you can avoid lifting your shoulder up towards your ear. We're really going for a twist here in your back and a nice stretch through your hips. So swap sides, dip that other shoulder in towards center, but relax it away from your ear. You can kind of lift your head. Feel that opening through your hips. And a nice twist in your back. Inhale, rise back to star pose. Reach nice and high. Exhale, warrior two towards the front of your space. Pivot your back foot flat. Maintain that 90-degree bend in your front knee. Just as we did on the last side, look at these back toes. See if you can point them in slightly. Alleviate any pressure in this back leg. Maybe even a slight bend in your back kneecap. See if you can lift up and out evenly of your pelvis. And then gaze over your left fingertips. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Inhale, reverse warrior. Fly your left arm high towards the sky. Little to no weight in this back hand. It's just kind of hanging out on your thigh. And then relax your left shoulder away from your ear. Gaze high if that feels okay in your neck. Breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Frame your front foot with your hands. Step back to high plank pose. And exhale, downward facing dog. Reset with one breath in and one breath out. We'll flow each side one time, one breath, one posture to one movement. Inhale, your right toes high towards the sky. Exhale, low lunge, step your right foot or drag it through to the top of your mat. Inhale, crescent lunge, Yin-Yasa, rise up, reach up. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms. Reach your arms along your sides. Tilt your chest towards the ground. Inhale, star pose. Open it up, nice and big. Exhale, horse pose. Sit low and draw your hands together at your heart just for a moment. Inhale, back to star pose. Reach up, feel your legs work. Exhale, warrior two towards the top of your mat. And breathe in, reverse warrior. Right arm lifts nice and high. Exhale, high plank pose. Plant your hands to the mat and step your right toes back. Breathe in, shift forward slightly. Exhale, down dog, hips go high. Our last side, inhale your left toes high. Exhale, low lunge, step or drag your foot through. Inhale, crescent lunge, Yin-Yasa, lift up, stand up. Exhale, crescent lunge with airplane arms. Dip your chest forward and reach your arms back. Inhale, star pose, heels go in, toes go out, arms reach up and over. Exhale, horse, sit nice and low, draw your hands together at your heart. Inhale, back to star pose, reach up. Exhale, warrior two, point your front toes towards the top of your mat. Breathe in, reverse warrior, left arm lifts, look up if you can. Exhale, high plank pose. Plant your palms down and step your left toes back. Breathe in, shift forward slightly. Exhale, downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, take a generous breath in and a generous breath out. One more time like that, breathe in And breathe out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, drop down to a seat on your knees. Sit your glutes onto your heels. And then keep your knees nice and close together as you hinge forward from your hips. We'll find embryo's pose. When you're ready, drop your forehead to the mat in front of you. Reach your arms along your sides. Maybe your hands touch your heels. A really nice posing stretch here. Around at our spine from lots of the back bends that we've already been doing in our class today. If this feels really tight on your hips, yogis, just separate your knees slightly and then come back down to alleviate any of the pressure there in your inner hips, your adductors. If you've lost your ujjayi breathing, come back to it. This breath, this thing that unites us all with each inhale and exhale, altering the vibration of our own state and the state around us. Take a deep inhale through your nose. And a deep exhale through your nose. Again, ujjayi breath in. Ujjayi breath out. Okay, sit back up, lift your chest, and then find one hip or the other as you kick your legs out in front of you, yogis. A little bit more work here before we head into the yin part of our practice. So once you find your spine, roll all the way down until your back reaches the ground. When you're here, plant the sole of your left foot down. Cross your right leg over the left one for eagle crunches. With your arms, draw your right arm underneath the left one. You can place your hands to your shoulders, or if it feels good in your body, you can wrap your forearms until your palms touch. Wherever you are, lift your elbows high towards the sky and keep your gaze up. Take a big breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Crunch, round, tuck, and curl at center. See if you can touch your elbows to your knees. Inhale, open up, gaze up, lift your elbows. Exhale, round, tuck, and curl, crunch at center. Inhale, open. Open mouth, exhale, crunch and lift. Keep moving just like this in our eagle crunches on the right side. Consider thinking about every time you crunch that round at your spine, just like you would in your cow pose rather. And then as you open up through your spine, cow pose, belly faces up. So crunch up and then lower. Keep moving just like this. Eagle crunches on the right. Feel the articulation happen in your spine for 4. Just 3. Last 2. And last one, let's swap sides. So everyone, right away, plant the sole of your right foot down. Cross your left ankle over your right knee. With your arms, left arm underneath the right. Either place your hands to your shoulders or wrap your forearms until your hands touch. Point your elbows up and your gaze. Breathe in. Open mouth, exhale, round, tuck, and curl. Tap opposite elbows to knees. Inhale, open up, feel the arch in your spine. Exhale, round, feel all points of your spine make contact with the ground. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Keep moving like this. Open mouth exhales to release some of this heat that we're building up right now in our core series. Just a little bit more work here, and then we'll glide right into our yin yoga part of class. I promise you're close. Lift and lower just for 4 more. We're here for 3. Last 2. And last 1, unravel your arms and your legs. Take a well-deserved full body stretch as you extend your legs out long in front of you. And reach your arms up and overhead. Gaze up. Take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Again, breathe in. Open your mouth, exhale, breathe out. Your next inhale, gather your knees into your chest. Place your palms underneath your kneecaps. Rock and roll the length of your mat 2, maybe 3 times. On that second or third rock, meet me up at a seat. Perfect, yogis. Second or third rock up at a seat. Let's take our final core exercise, boat pose Navasana. Once you're up at a seat, lift your chest. Notice what that does to your back, right? You lift your chest, we're looking for that long spine. The reason is we're not looking to use our back muscles, we're more trying to focus on the front side of our body, our transverse abs here. Draw your knees in towards your chest, and point your toes on the ground. You can stay just like this. This is technically boat pose. If you'd like to move on and just play around, you can lift one ankle in line with your kneecap, maybe play with the other. Notice if your back's starting to round, just come out and try again. Keep that long, tall spine, and then maybe lift. All right, wherever you are, stay here. Lift your chest, hold and breathe with me. We've got 4. Just 3. Last 2. And 1, yogis. Cross your ankles, plant your palms, and step back. We'll meet in a downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, take a big breath in. And a big breath out. Again, Ujjayi breath in. Ujjayi breath out. Inhale, gaze forward. Exhale, step to the top of your mat. Breathe in, halfway lift. And exhale, forward fold. Yogis, if you've got those pillows, reach for them now. From your forward fold, we'll take dangling. This is our first yin posture of our class here today. So for dangling pose, maybe you've done it with me before. First, place 2 of your pillows out in front of you. And then if you have 2 more, place them behind you. If not, not to worry. We can always shift those front ones to the back in about 2 minutes from now. So dangling pose. The postures in yin are given different names than the postures in yang because their intention is really different. So forward fold is what we know it as, right? But in this style of our class, we're calling it dangling because we're working to release our muscles as much as we possibly can. So ensure your feet are at least hip width distance, if not wider. Maybe even point your toes out slightly to create some more space. Please, please, please bend your knees to support your back here. And then when you're ready, drop your head and neck to hang nice and heavy. Option to place your forearms on these pillows that you stacked out in front of you. And hey, if you have more pillows behind you and you need to make this front stack higher, just grab and place it on top. If you feel pain in your back, that means likely that you need to shift the weight forward more. Take the tension out of your legs and just allow your belly to fall forward. I feel a huge opening through that area where the heart chakra lies, through my chest here. All of those muscles that sort of encase your heart and your lungs, just above the rib cage there. This feels such a relief. And so yogis, we are slowing down our class. We're transitioning to the yin portion now. You can either keep your ujjayi breath with you, or just take normal, natural breaths here, ones that feel really easy. And if at any time you need to take a big open mouth exhale, this is that time to do it, to surrender further, to release more stuff that gets stuck from sitting upright at a desk, clenching. I've only got us here for 2 minutes, I promise. We're already almost there. All right, yogis, if you've only got pillows out in front of you, now's the time to scoot them behind you. And if you've got pillows front and back, just leave them, that's perfect. Everyone, shimmy your feet to the wider edges of your mat. Heels stay on, toes drape off. Sit nice and low in your squat. You might know it as frog pose, but again, in this style of yoga, it's called squat. So once you're down here, draw your elbows to the insides of your knees. Press your hands together at your heart. Although we are definitely opening up through our hips right now, the goal is our chest. So lift your chest, press it outward. Sit nice and tall. Lift your chin, your gaze higher, to keep your chest nice and open too. You could always stack another pillow underneath your seat if that might help. We're here for 2 minutes. We're already 30 seconds in. Stuff will come up in this posture for sure. Whether it's boredom or a flood of emotions, feelings, maybe even some sweat and discomfort. So much of our yoga practice is finding compassion for all things. This love for all parts of ourselves and acceptance of what's there. So gently and compassionately, just embrace what comes up with unconditional love and observance. We're halfway there. Are you still breathing? All right, yogis, if you are missing props out in front of you, lift your butt slightly, scoot them back in front of you. We've got a whole nother round of this, so head back up to your dangling posture. 2 pillows out in front of you. You could keep your feet this wide. This is great. Just make sure those knees are bent, and then drop your head and neck to hang. Maybe here, because your legs are wider, we're opening up some more. Potentially the top of your head grazes those pillows. There's no right or wrong. Our anatomy is really different. So see if you can come back to this pose without expectation. Even though it's the second time you've been here today, replace expectation with curiosity and compassion. Already halfway. Keep breathing. If you need to lessen the stretch, you could always come back to your hands if you're not already there. Lift your chest slightly. Alright, yogis, let's do this last squat here. Sit nice and low, bend your knees generously until your glutes find those cushions behind you. Move them there now if they're not. Back to it, elbows to the insides of our knees, hands to touch. I want you to notice the difference here of side view when we don't lift our chest. So this is what our spine looks like, right? We're trying to open along the front line where our heart is. So we've got to lift our chest to open up that part. I know this is pretty active for a yin posture, but I promise we're making our way to a seat here shortly. Relationship that we have with ourselves is one of the most important, if not the most important relationships to cultivate, maybe beside our relationship with, if we believe in it, a higher power and a spouse or something like that. But the relationship with ourselves is one to truly be cultivated because this is who we spend the most time with. And it is fascinating when we begin to quiet down and notice the things that we say to ourselves without even realizing it. Things that we would probably never say to another person, a way we would never speak to a true friend. And so when we find quiet, when we take a moment to pause like we do in our yoga practice and in our meditation practice too, we can become aware of all of the ways we can use compassion with ourselves more in all things. And this, of course, is in an effort to take this compassion with us and give it as a gift to others. It's something that's really hard to give to others if we're unsure of how to give it to ourselves first. All right, yogis, let's pop out of this pose. So place those pillows off to the side of your space. No real pretty way to do this is we just find a seat with your butt on the mat. Extend your legs out nice and long in front of you. Shake them out. Get some blood flowing back into your hips. And we'll take caterpillar pose from here. A little bit of a counter stretch from all of our big hip openers, some of our back bends. So grab your pillows and stack them nice and high on your legs. Think about gluing your glutes down into the ground. You want this hinge to happen from the hips up. So begin to hinge forward and rest your chest onto your pillows. Yogis, other options, because we've got these great tools in our house. If you'd like, you could always scoot a pillow underneath your knees. Maybe you need more height, so you've got to bend the pillow, scoot it underneath your knees, and then you place some more pillows on top. This will get more through your spine. This is one of those poses where we can really check in and notice how much more we can let go of. It doesn't require too much activity for us to be in the seat. So can you think of this pose really different than a seated forward fold, or our active version of this stretch? And release as many muscles as you possibly can to sink your body weight forward. When we hold poses like this for long periods of time, we're working into the fascia. That's the hard outer casing that is around each muscle. And when we sit like this, that's when our body, our fascia, finds more mobility and more flexibility in that space. So we'll be here in this pose for 4 minutes. We've already been here for a whole minute. With each breath, how can you soften more? And release. We're halfway there in the pose. We've got 2 minutes to go. seconds left. I'm still here with you. We're all here together, connected through this practice, through our breath, and through our hearts. Maybe as slow as you can, roll yourself back up to a seat, nice and slow. Place your pillows off to the side of your mat. When you're ready, slowly lower all the way down until your spine reaches the ground. Once your spine is down on the mat, plant the soles of your feet down and bend your knees. Grab for one of your pillows, hopefully it's nearby. Keep your gaze nice and high. Lift your hips off of the mat and scoot this pillow underneath your hips so that it can kind of prop them up off of the mat. If you'd like, you can use another pillow underneath your hips to even lift a little bit higher. So you lift your hips once more and scoot that pillow underneath you. If it doesn't fit, you know that means it's too high. Just rest your hips back down on your pillow. Got lots of options here, yogi, in our supported bridge pose. Option 1, stay just like this with your arms dangling down by your sides. Option 2 would be to extend your legs out long, nice in front of you, and drop your heels to the mat. This will open more through the front line of your body. Final option today is to press the soles of your feet to touch. Open your knees out nice and wide in a butterfly pose. All your choices, all great options today. Do what feels good. Got 4 minutes here. I'll let you know when we're halfway. If your mind's drifting off, it's normal, it's okay. Find compassion for yourself as you bring it back. In yoga, we have mantras. They're directly translated to mind vehicle because they're tools to help us focus our attention, our awareness on something. And so our mantra today, all about the heart. Can you consider the state of your heart? Our minds and our hearts are connected. This is an age-old debate and battle. Think with your head, lead with your heart. Lead with your heart, think with your head. There's no other topic that's been written or sung about more than love. Again, not necessarily romantic love, but matters of the heart. So as you can consider the state of your heart, know that it is so important, if not equally as important, as the state of your mind. The two are truly not able to function on separate planes. They are one. We're halfway in this place. few of these if you've got your legs out long in front of you, or you took that butterfly variation with your legs. So rebend your knees and plant the soles of your feet down. Lift your hips a little bit higher. Remove that pillow from underneath you, place it off to the side, and just gently lower your hips back down to the mat. Let's find a counter pose for 1 moment. Broken bridge. Knock your knees in towards center. Shimmy your feet to the wide edges of your space. Feel the difference here as you internally rotate your hips. Some relief for your hip flexors if they were feeling a little bit overstretched. Make sure you're breathing. You're going to shimmy your feet back in towards center. Gather your knees up and give them a squeeze. As you exhale, release both legs out long in front of you. And then stretch both arms up and overhead. Banana asana pose is where we're headed. Yes, banana pose. So shift your legs over towards the right side of your space first. If you'd like, you can cross your left ankle over your right ankle. With your arms, bend your elbows and reach your hands to opposite forearms. Lift your chest up and then shift it over to the right side of your space so that you're creating a shape of a banana peel towards the right. Feel a nice stretch through your left side intercostals, maybe your left IT band. Your chest, you're remaining open. Your arms are up and over. Work to keep both glutes on the mat. Your gaze high. And close your eyes if you'd like, if that allows you to sort of tap in more internally. To reconnect with you. We've got 2 minutes to go here. Just a minute to go. These nice and slowly. If you've got your ankles crossed, unhook them. Draw your legs back towards center first. And then lift your shoulders and drop them back down at center. You can unhook your arms if you'd like. Just rock them out and roll them out for a moment. We'll take banana asana pose on the other side. So bend your elbows, reach your palms for opposite forearms. Let's start with the legs first. Shift your legs over to the left side. Keep your ankles together or cross your right ankle over the left one. Lift those shoulder blades up and then drop them off over to the left side of your space. Palms continue to reach for opposite forearms. See if you can keep both shoulder blades, both glutes down on the ground. Breathe. There's this really great imagery in yoga. You can kind of think of a spider web. You're in the center. And without looking around, you maybe don't realize that there's others out there. It's not all just you. As you begin to look outward, you notice those in the next web, maybe a few lines down. Your loved ones, your friends, those close to you. And you begin to continue to look past that and notice how vast the web is, how far it expands beyond you. We're still all connected, though, in this web. And so yoga has this really cool way of shifting from me to we. We must first tap in, look inward first, connect with me, in order to look outward and more successfully connect to we. Got about a minute here. Nice and slow and steady, yogis. Legs first. Cross your ankles if they are crossed. Draw your legs back towards the center of your body. Lift your shoulders up, drop them back down at the middle. And cross your arms and shake them out. And we'll just flip over to your belly. All the way over to your belly. I know you're facing the back of the mat, that's okay. Challenge yourself to just listen to the sound of my voice. Once you're on your belly, we'll take Sphinx pose. Prop yourself up onto your forearms. Stack your shoulders over your elbows. You can gaze down. Drop your head and neck to hang. You can gaze at neutral, or you can drop your head and neck back. This is truly our second to last posture of class here today. So check in one more time. Notice what's still active. Can you let go of it? Can you release it to sink more into your belly, your back? And if your head's up, maybe your chest. We're here for less than a minute. is you'll just flop yourself back over to your back. Our last posture of class today, you know it as Shavasana. Yin Yoga knows it as Pentacle Pose. So your whole back down on the ground. Take up as much space as you need here to feel loved, to feel safe, to feel comfortable in order to take an active rest. Take your time. There's no rush because there's nowhere to be in this pose, meaning there's no goal in mind, no expectation. There's no grade, no right or wrong. It just is. And so find this space for you. And for me. Not me as in me, your teacher, but the rest of us out there. Knowing that when you take time and space for you, you're more available for those around you. As you prepare to step off of this mat and into the rest of your days, continue to remind yourself that universal love begins with compassion, and it begins with you. Think about this idea of last time you were on a plane, and they go through the safety standards with you, and remind you to put your mask on first before you can serve help. Put on the mask of another. So whatever you need to come back to this compassion for you, maybe it's this practice or another. Find it for yourself first, so you can give the gift of compassion to others. You're welcome to stay in this perfect place for however long you need. If you're ready to rejoin your day, just start slow. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Put your arms up and overhead in a good morning stretch. Breathe in. Breathe out. Find your right or left side for supported fetal pose. Use one of your biceps as a pillow. Gather your knees into your chest. Place your other palm to the earth. If and when you're ready, press yourself up to a seat facing wherever you're watching this. With legs crossed, eyes closed, hands on heart center, and sit tall. And draw your thumbs between your eyebrows. Take a collective breath in and a unifying breath out. I honor and am so grateful for the light and the love that lives in each of you, because it also lives in me. Given these things, we are united. We are the same. We are one. Bow forward together, saying Namaste. Thank you so much for showing up to share your practice and your heart with me. It is my honor and great pleasure to be here with all of you. Yogis, stay safe, stay healthy, and continue to dig deep for compassion for yourselves so that you can give it as a gift to others. I'll see you next time. Namaste.